Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and the Ukraine. So today we're continuing to watch the ongoing Kharkiv offensive that the Russians have initiated within the vicinity northeast of the major city of Kharkiv, also known as Kharkiv by the Ukrainians. Now we're learning more about the Russian units involved in this offensive. We know that major elements of the 18th Motorized Rifle Division is involved in this operation. This division originates from the area of Kaliningrad in the Baltic enclave of Kaliningrad. Furthermore, there are additional forces that are being used by the Russians as well. Now, again, we don't know the exact composition of the 18th Motorized Rifle Division or how many of its regiments are being used in this offensive. It could be the entire division, as far as we know. Additionally, as we had reported yesterday, elements of forces that previously were noted as being Wagner forces, those are also being used in this ongoing campaign. We are also seeing units from the 80th Guards Red Banner Tank Regiment. The 80th Guards Tank Regiment is assigned or a component of the 90th Tank Division. And then finally, we are seeing elements of the 380th Motorized Rifle Division. Motorized Rifle Regiment. That is an element of the 47th Guards Tank Division as well. So we have elements of three sizable Russian formations: the 90th Guards Tank Division, the 47th Tank Division, and the 18th Motorized Rifle Division. We also have an independent brigade of the 138th Separate Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade. That unit is also involved. So as I reported yesterday, this involves thousands of Russian troops. Upwards to 10 to 30,000 Russian forces have already started taking part in this operation. It is believed that the Russians could be preparing to deploy a force south of Belgorod, north and northeast of Kharkiv, and other areas as well, in excess of 60 to 70,000 personnel. So what are the Russians trying to do? Are the Russians trying to take territory? Or are they attempting to destroy the Ukrainian military? Now, sometimes I hearken back to the first American Civil War. In the ongoing strategy that we are seeing by the Russians, this reminds me, in some ways, of the Overland campaign launched by General Grant during the first U.S. Civil War. Now look, this operation, the Overland campaign in 1864, was not designed to take territory. It was designed to cross the Rapidan River and engage and destroy Confederate forces. It was designed to meet the enemy on the battlefield and degrade and destroy the ability of the Confederate Army to wage war. General Grant wanted to destroy the Confederate Army. He wanted to cause casualties upon the Confederate forces. After the Battle of the Wilderness, during the Overland Campaign, the first major battle, Union forces took catastrophic casualties, twice as many as the Confederate Army. But General Grant did not withdraw. He continued to prosecute the Overland Campaign. He knew it was going to be rough. He knew that Union forces were going to take a lot of casualties. But it served twofold. One, destroying the Confederate Army and then moving south towards Richmond. And at the end of the day, it worked. That strategy worked. Now, in this campaign, the Russians are fixing and then destroying Ukrainian military units. We have seen this strategy very effective in areas northeast of Avdiivka. The battles that took place in and around Avdiivka, I would say, mirrored, in terms of strategy, again, designed to get the Ukrainian army into a slugfest, designed to inflict maximum casualties on the Ukrainian army. The Ukrainian military took a lot of casualties in that Avdiivka campaign. The Ukrainians claim that they killed a lot of Russians. Maybe so. Possibly. The Confederates, they killed a lot of Union forces. But the Union leadership knew that they could take those losses and continue the war. The Ukrainian military is in very much the kind of shape the Confederate Army was during the American Civil War. It's worn out. It's tired. Its morale is very low. It's having difficulty finding troops to participate in the conflict. Opening this secondary front, the Kharkiv front, could be the nail in the coffin for the Ukrainian military. The Ukrainians are going to continue taking catastrophic casualties. They cannot go 1-for-1, meaning one Ukrainian dead for one Russian dead. They can't even go 3-to-1. The Russians still win in that type of conflict. Now, are we seeing those kinds of losses from the Russians? Are the Russians losing 3 men to every 1 Ukrainian? I really doubt it. And the reason I doubt it is, as I've talked about before, the Russian air power. The 100 Russian airstrikes per day. The 100 GLONASS guided glide bombs per day. The Ukrainians don't have an answer for that. And what I mean by an answer for that is they cannot launch similar types of strikes. So wars happen, technology changes, but the philosophy behind war is the same. If one side has more resources, has more men, and is willing to use that kind of force, outside of some catastrophic generalship or catastrophic strategy initiated by those generals, the likelihood is the side that has the most resources is going to win the day. It may take some time. Look at the American Civil War. It took time. It took lots of losses. Massive losses. But what happened? Same here. Again, we have to watch what is happening in this area. This Kharkiv offensive. This Kharkov offensive. This is very important. This could be the beginning of the end. We'll continue to watch and report. Thank you for joining us today. More to come very, very soon. And as always, have a good day.